Okay, this is the earnings trades, ride the volatility wave. This is a cash flow injection, a little bit different from the long-term strategy we normally look at. You usually take these trades out about or at least 3 weeks before an earnings trade is announced. In this video we show you how to set up an earnings trade to ride the wave of volatility. More details in this video. Graham Healy, Trade Canary, Australia and New Zealand. Enjoy the video. Thank you very much for listening. Good morning, it's Graham Healy from Trade Canary, Australia and New Zealand. Tonight I'm going to cover a very, very important strategy, and it's called the earnings trade strategy, and I've entitled it there, Ride the Volatility Wave. Now, I'm not going to get into too much of the technical side of it, but I'll just show you a simple trade that I looked at, and since it's coming up to earnings season, in other words, 4 times a year, companies declare their income, and just before their income comes out, there's usually a fair bit of volatility around that. In other words, between the estimates and the actuals, and in that volatility, you can make a reasonable amount of money riding the wave of volatility, and I'll show you how that's done. Normally, it's done with communication and tech stocks, because they're extremely volatile. But the example I'll use tonight is Morgan Stanley, although it's not communication or technical stocks. Morgan Stanley, that was one of the original ones I did on a earnings trade, and I remember putting in about 120 US dollars, and I got back 800 US dollars out of that trade when I first started. And I haven't been going that long. I started my trading account October last year after 2 years of studying with a certain group that I was with at the time, still am, before I joined up with Trade Canary. So without further ado, let us get into this particular exercise, because earnings season is upon us. And this will give you a little bit of an indication of how to go about earnings trades and how they actually, happen actually. So, okay, the first screener we'll have a look at is called FinViz. Now, FinViz is a free screener. You can sign up. You can see I've got my Healy's Health and Fitness. You sign up for free, and then there's certain screeners that are used. In this case, I'm using, let's have a look at the screeners. It's under presets. So I'm using earnings strategy technology, right? Now, we go from there to the basic chart, and there's certain parameters that we place in the screen. 1, it's technology. 2, the price is above the simple 200-day simple moving average. You see this here. Price above the simple moving average of 200. The average volume over 1 million. And here we've got technology up there. Here we've got 20-day simple moving average, price above the simple moving average of 20. And then over here, we've got price above the simple moving average of 50. So that sets parameters that give us, filter the screening process down. If you want to do it this way, we can do it through Trade Canary, obviously. This is more of a manual way to do it. But Eric from Trade Canary is putting together a algorithm to be able to feed us the earnings trades directly. So that one's coming in the next video. But, you go through these trades individually. You'll be looking for a breakout, like you'll see, like this one's growing, but boom, it's broken the line where you see these lines. So what you're normally looking for as we go through this, and this is the sort of long way to do it, how I started doing them. I'll keep going until we get across one. I'm looking for one that it's got about 3 touch points on their trend line, and then it looks like it's breaking out. We'll just keep going. Similar to this, sort of starts to go down a trend line, then starts to break up. That's not a really good example. Similar to this, you see here this DFDV, which is a software infrastructure company. It's bouncing along this trend line, and then boom, she's gone up there. Now we might have missed that one, but I'm just giving a bit of an example how to do it the long way. Here it is bouncing along that trend line, and then she starts to go across. We really want it to break out. So here's one that's bouncing along the trend line, hasn't broken out. Bouncing along the trend line again. Right, so yeah, that one looks like it's starting to break out there. So basically, the long way to do this is go through every one of these trades and filter it back through TradeView. Now, I'm not going to go through that process because it'll take us all night to do that. So the next thing you look at, and I've already brought Morgan Stanley up. I know it's not a technical trade, a tech trade, or it's not a communications trade. Okay, but I just want to use this as an example because, as I said before, I did take this out as an earnings trade for certain reasons last year, and it really kicked butt. And also with Goldman Sachs, when Goldman Sachs dropped through the floor with all the tariffs and everything. Look, I personally I made $400 in about a week and a half out of Goldman Sachs. Had I held the trade, this is just recently, and it's July 15th, 2025, a couple of weeks ago. Had I held that trade for another 2 days, I would have made 2,000 American dollars out of it. It's just that you just have to make a decision at the time. Will you take the money? Will you roll it? Or, depending on the position of where that particular trade is relative to its historical its history, its earnings history. And, Goldman Sachs was at its highest high in 5 years. So you sort of had to make that decision. Is it going to break through to a higher high, or is it going to pull back? And I thought, nah, it probably pulled back. Of course, I was wrong in that educated estimation. Right, the full version of this video is available at Trade Canary Australia and New Zealand's website. Go to the website and join up our course, our basic trading course at $75 a week by 8 weeks, and you get you get lifetime access to the education components of the website. I'll see you on the other side of that. Now, just repeating, with these earnings trades, they're really a cash flow quick, for want of a better term, quick fix, but they're a cash flow injection. You put the trade on about 3 weeks before the earnings report, and you rely on the volatility prior to earnings, and that volatility will push the actual options contract right up into the money. And it's a system to be able to make very quick dollars very quickly for very minimal outlays. Graham Healy over and out. Hope you enjoyed the video. For the longer version, go to and join up at the website Trade Canary Australia and New Zealand and join our basic education course. You'll get the full strategies there. I've done some shortened videos here because basically we're not giving away our strategies to the general public. You will have those strategies on call on the website when you become a member. Okay, Graham Healy over and out. Thank you for listening.